have a Patreon listener question from TheGreySkull. TheGreySkull asks us, I always wonder why, despite the fact that Beast Wars was so popular right to the end of its run, that they never considered a season 4 and instead went with Beast Machines. Why is that? And do you have any insight on why that change or choice was made? Okay, so for people that don't know, obviously Beast Wars had season 3, and then when season 3 ended, they went into Beast Machines, and they went with that sequel series. And Beast Machines was a controversial release, and some people always kind of wish that, maybe Beast Wars should have had a season 4, like where it could have gone, essentially. There's been various, essentially, information that it's peppered all over the internet, and interviews and DVD extras and all kinds of stuff, and it's never been
offhand comments maybe here and there,
and it's never been put into one place. So I figured that we have this question here, and it's something that we could just kind of put everything in one place, and essentially that, like, what would have been a season 4 if it would have happened? Why didn't it happen? We had there was a discussion with Larry DiTilio, who was one of the head writers of Beast Wars, of he said, well, the natural progression would have been if season 4 did happen, because the plan is that the last couple of episodes of season 3 were not set in stone. There was actually ideas to continue moving forward story-wise and stay on Earth, where and you actually see nuggets of this that was left in, which was there was ideas to do a whole separate storyline with Tarantulas and the Vok being in his body. And it was shown in the show, where just before he, quote, dies, the Vok go into his body and then he explodes. And that was the kind of the way out if they had a season 4, like what the story could be. Obviously, they never did anything with it, and that whole story with Tarantulas being infected with the Vok would then be used in BotCon comic book material, where he's possessed by the Vok. And there was toys that were planned, because we had the Fox Kids repaints, which pretty much represented that ghost Tarantulas and stuff. And there was more intent to do stuff more with Tigerhawk, which they then ended up killing off because of it at the series actually ending. But they were going to go more forward with Tigerhawk and the idea of the Spark pilots and stuff like that, which again didn't really, surface. There was a lot of toys that were planned that were still under the Beast Wars, subtitle. So there was ideas. He said that the natural progression, though, if there would have been a season 4 and even a season 5, is sooner or later they would have had to write a story back on Cybertron. But he felt that there were still some bullets left in the gun, and that there was stuff that was essentially gonna be there. And there was even some talk of even a spin-off comic book if needed. There was, because in the early days of Beast Wars, there was talks with Dark Horse Comics to do maybe a comic book, and nothing ever came of it. But
do you think that they would have also incorporated a lot of the Beast Wars Neo toys that ended up showing up in Beast Machines and in what was it called again? Car
Beast
robots and stuff like that.
I think
stateside.
A lot of that stuff, the Beast Wars Second toys, the Beast Wars Neo toys, which some of those toys ended up appearing, getting localized here in Beast Machines.
Yeah, like Beast Machines, Car Robots, Transformers Universe.
A lot of that stuff ended up getting localized here, but even just the sequel series itself.
Yeah.
Like Beast Machines had a subline called the Dinobots, which used all of those Predacons from Beast Wars Neo, Magmatron and all of those dudes. And it's just, to me, I feel that there probably was plans to import some of those toys to continue some of that ongoing story, to write those characters in and just do something with them. In continuing with Mainframe and a Beast Wars Season 4, there was intent. And I think the primary thing that I think really just put an end to Beast Wars season, like Season 3 being the last season and stuff, and it's a very big one, was that when they were working on season 3, they were already talking about season 4, but Hasbro was already talking about, well, what if we did something different? They wanted to just do something vastly different at the time, because they were seeing, wow, Beast Wars is a huge success. Maybe we could, do something different with the Transformer brand now that we've managed to get away with doing something different the first time, because Beast Wars itself was a huge departure from the norm. And then the legendary comic book writer Marv Wolfman came forward to Hasbro with a pitch. Now, for people who don't know who Marv Wolfman is, this is the guy who created Cyborg, Raven, Starfire, Deathstroke. He created
the Titans,
the Teen Titans, the Black Cat. He penned all of Crisis on Infinite Earth, which is extremely important to the DC universe.
Black Cat, which one is that? The Spider-Man one, or is that the older guy, the older guy that trains people?
The DC one.
Oh, okay.
But he also did a lot of the Blade comic books and Tomb of Dracula when he was working with Marvel. This is a dude that was a very
Tomb of Dracula, Wolfman.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is with Marv Wolfman is that he even had a past in writing Transformer scripts in the past. He did Return of Optimus Prime.
No way.
Part 1 and 2.
You lie, man. You lie.
And he did The Probe, which was, again, one of those Cybertronian episodes, because The Probe, at the first 5 seconds of the episode, The Probe in Beast Wars, is a shot from Cybertron, them sending probe. So he already was kind of milling these ideas in his mind for a Transformer series. Marv Wolfman comes to Hasbro, and Hasbro's already in this frame of mind of, let's do something different. And he pretty much pitches this idea to them. He's like, why don't we do something that's a wildly original, take on Transformers? And it's this whole different change, and it's like, they're going to come back to Cybertron, and they found out that Megatron has taken it over, and blah blah blah. And 2 other writers were brought in, Bob Skir and Transformers Animated Marty Eisenberg. Marty Eisenberg and Bob Skir were working together previously on the Godzilla TV series.
No way. Well, wait.
That was on Fox, the one based off of the movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So
that was a good show.
Fox at the time had a Godzilla cartoon series that was based off of the 1998 movie.
Then they had the Men in Black series as well.
Yes, yeah. So Marty Eisenberg and Bob Skir were the writers for that. They've worked together. That series saw success. It was under the Fox emblem. So Fox, again, working with Hasbro for this new series, brought in them and said, you know what? Why don't you guys work with Marv? And Marv pretty much created the skeleton for what this series would be. Let's see what you guys could kind of put together. And so they played with this idea back and forth. And both Bob and Marty kind of put it in their mind that they're not going to watch Beast Wars, that they want to go into this fresh, and for it to be different than anything that ever before. They don't want to be influenced by past stuff. And at the time, you had Marv Wolfman, who worked on Transformer stuff, but he didn't tell Bob or Marty that any of the previous stuff was all interconnected. He didn't tell because Marv kept it to himself because he really wanted this to be fresh. So he kind of kept the information to himself, saying look, you don't need to watch Beast Wars, it's not connected, even though it is. You don't need to watch G1, it's not connected, even though it is. To quote Marv, his exact lines were, Beast Machines is at the time was called Beast Hunters. Beast Hunters is a sequel of a sequel, which is already convoluted in itself and too much to explain. So I didn't want to confuse these two guys. So obviously Marv kind of went to the back of the room at that point, and Marty and Bob Skir kind of went to town, and we have what we have today. But essentially, it all happened. Season 4 did not happen because Marv Wolfman, who in the comic book industry is a big name, came to Hasbro and said, "Look, this is my idea. Let's roll with this." And they loved it. They loved the idea. Regardless of how you feel about Beast Machines as a final product, they loved just how fresh and different it was. And they were confident that they would be able to succeed with this because Beast Wars went through that same thing where it was so vastly different, but it found success. So they felt, well, if we just do something vastly different again, maybe we'll find success again. It'll still have the same reoccurring characters. It'll still have that CG that made it popular the first time with Mainframe. It's going to be on Fox, which has been successful for us for at least season 3. Season 3 of Beast Wars was played on Fox before anywhere else at the time. Season 1 and 2 still was more of a YTV first airing kind of thing, but season 3 was specifically Fox. They got the episodes before everyone else. So when they got Beast Machines, like, Fox got involved with Beast Machines' creation too and stuff, but ultimately in the end, that's the primary reason why season 4 didn't happen, was Marv Wolfman's pitch, which led to them going, you know what, we could keep going with what the toys are doing right now under the Beast Wars emblem and continue the story on Earth, which might lead to Cybertron, or we could start it early now and have something fresh now. And who knows, we don't have the numbers, but maybe, Beast Wars toys were doing very well in 95, 96, 97. Maybe there was a decline in 98, 99. 98, 99, what else came out around that time? Pokemon. So I could only imagine, and keep in mind, Pokemon was also a Hasbro-owned brand at the time. It was Tommy in Japan, which works with Takara today, but it was a Hasbro.
Well, merged with Takara, no?
So I'm pretty sure, merged with them afterwards. So I'm pretty sure that Hasbro probably saw, there's a huge decline in sales in Transformer merchandise. There's more of a focus on Pokemon. Maybe we need to do something different this time around.
Yeah.
Just to keep the attention of people. And I mean, there's a lot of things. Again, this isn't confirmed, but I mean, there's a lot of things that led to that decision ultimately in the end. I mean, would have we liked a Beast Wars season 4? I think that it would have still been amazing. We would have had, we would have had the same writers, the same CG, the same characters. So I think it would have just gotten better. I think that
I'm just trying to think of like which other characters do you add in at that point,
Well,
where else do you go?
The suggestion was that they were going to lean more into Transmetal 2s. They were going to lean more into, there was what was called the Fox Kids repaint line, which was they were taking.
Oh, what we just talked about at the beginning then. So the Vox Tarantulas and et cetera.
So there were certain characters that could have had appear, like a season 4 could have had Ramulus. It could have had,
because I remember that was the very weird marketing on those on the packaging of those toys, where it's like the Fox Kids version. I'm like, I don't understand why. Yeah. Why does Fox Kids need to be on this?
That's why
toy packaging. But I mean, I get to like, hey kids, we want to watch season 3. Come watch it on Fox. Like that's obvious marketing.
Yeah, it was a cross
promotion.
But
the behind of that.
Yeah, well, because like I said, season 3 was pretty much a Fox like first airing kind of thing. So the toys were going to promote that, watch it on Fox, but the Fox Kids repaints also led to some characters getting some kind of different changes and stuff like that fictionally if they needed to pull from that. Both original molds and Transmetal and Transmetal 2 molds. So there was a lot going. There were some unique molds too. The Beast Wars Mutants line, which apparently was not meant to be Beast Wars toys. They were just layovers from the Animorphs toy line. But
they raised their ugly head again.
Exactly.
Animorphs.
But the point is that I think that there could have been something still there. They say that they still had stuff that they could have done, but they said that sooner or later the story would have found them back on Cybertron. Just the question is, at that point, if you're back on Cybertron, why keep the name Beast Wars?
Yeah.
Now you're on the metallic planet. What's the need for alt modes like this anymore?
Exactly.
And again, Beast Machines was originally called Beast Hunters in its early production names because of the story of the Viacons hunting the beasts and stuff, and then they changed it to Beast Machines for censorship reasons and stuff like that. And then that was the finalized name to be used. So, I mean, again, I would have loved the season 4. I'm pretty sure a lot of Beast Wars fans would have loved it too, because we would have had more of the way those characters were done.
Yeah.
I've learned to throughout the years. I mean, when Beast Machines first came out, and then you had Car Robots that was airing in Japan at the time. A lot of people during Beast Machines' run had a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
They didn't like Beast Machines. The toys were not as show accurate as they could have been. The Viacon toys were interesting and different, but the Beast Maximals, a lot of the toys weren't that great. And the show, was controversial. There was,
I think it was only towards the tail end of that toy run, that toy line, where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna try to make it more accurate to the show."
I do agree.
So that's where you get like the double bladed Cheetor.
Yeah, Night/Cheetor.
Yeah.
Which was repainted many times into other stuff afterwards, like Cat Scan, and they did a Universe 1.0 release. But I think that Beast Machines really, like you just said, I think the toy line found itself, but when it was already kind of too late.
Yeah, it was already in the third season, I think all those things came out. It was
called Battle of the Allspark, I believe was its subheader. And they had the Dinobot subline, which they were using to import stuff, like we mentioned before. So I think it found itself, but by then people were so enamored with car robots that was going on in Japan.
Yeah,
Beast Machines just didn't stand a chance when you had like G1 is back, kind of.
G1's back and it's complicated, baby. Come dig it.
And and all these toys that, were incredible for its time, especially like, Fire Convoy and stuff. And I don't want to start like praising car robots on this, but it's just
don't we do that isn't it like, a few weeks already? We got to do it again.
It comes up a lot. But the point is that like that's pretty much why there was no season 4. It's blame Marv Wolfman. And but he was the biggest reason behind it. But anyways, thanks for the question, TheGreySkull Patreon. So definitely check everything out, guys, and we'll definitely answer more listener questions as they get sent on Patreon.
These are fun. Keep them coming.